as my brother was speaking, one song kept on ringing in my ears. Sodom Gomorrah, Ejadim, Ejadim, Ejadim. The song was ringing in my head, and then I quickly remembered a portion of scripture, Matthew 7:16. Now it says that by their fruits you shall know them. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs or thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, and the evil tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can an evil tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not good fruit shall be cut down. Every tree that bringeth not good fruit shall be cut down and shall be cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits you shall know them. And finally, not everyone that saith to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. You see, I spoke with you after Prof made his statement that the MPP was fake. And my honest view was that he was very charitable. Prof Property was extremely charitable because he just scratched the surface of their issue. Because when you say something is fake, all what you are saying is that you know what that thing ought to be. And what you are saying now is totally different from what that thing ought to be. Now, you are not talking about something which is physical. You are talking about, you went about corporations, you talk about company, even a country. They are not physical beings. They are more or less, in law, will say, an artificial being. You understand? And so for the MPP, which is really an artificial being, we identify them not necessarily by way of the name or their symbols, but you identify them by their character, by their value set, by their ideals. That's how we recognize them. And for me, you see, because you ask the question, people have asked that question, but it's still the MPP, it's still the red, the white, the blue with the elephant. You understand? Now, what is happening is akin to, let's say, I am Appiah Dankwa. So you see me, I'm standing Appiah Dankwa with my round head, short man. You see me. But what you don't know is that an evil spirit has possessed me, it has entered into me. So you may see me, but the character, the things I'm manifesting is not under Appiah Dankwa. It's the evil spirit. It's not under Appiah Dankwa. And that's what is happening to MPP. So it's not about a matter of fake or not fake. Because the name is still MPP. The flag is still MPP. But the character is one of familiar spirit. Now, my brother here made a nice, solid argument. Now take the MPP before President Kufuor. You see, before President Kufuor, they lost the election in 92. Edu Boeing. He lost the election. How did they behave? They wrote a book, The Stolen Verdict. Then they went back in 96. They lost the election again. They had a serious minority. They were about just 67 MPs out of about 200. But those MP exhibited a certain value set, certain principles that set the MPP on a certain pedestal. Just about 6-7 of them, the likes of J.H. Mensah, Anane, you understand, when issues came, they believing in the ideals of the rule of law, quickly went to court. Because of that, we had our constitutional democracy developing on a lot of very critical issues. We saw President Kufuor as president. We saw his presidency. It was not perfect. But at least we saw his commitment to the values and ideals of the MPP. You go to MPP's constitution and they say they believe in the values of liberal democracy. So they believe that those who rule must do same with the consent of those they govern. They believe in freedom of thought. You should be free to think and so speak your mind. You understand? They claim they believe in the values of the rule of law. And that constitution claims that it understands that the reason why, the ultimate reason why they've been formed as a political party is to serve the interests of Ghana. It's in their constitution, when you read their constitution, there's a certain policy statement attributed to Appiah Dankwa. You understand? And they have their objectives. And when you read their objectives, you see what they are claiming to be their character, a respect for the environment. You understand? Now, all of us are clear, as in my brother and myself, we all agree that the character of the MPP altered from 2007. And the first sign was a letter written by a legend of the MPP, B.J. Darocha. Because if there's one fundamental problem I have with the MPP, and I don't know whether that character only started from after 2008, or that character has always been there, or that what we are seeing is their true character, and Kufuor was an exception to the character of the MPP. Because when my brother made reference to the Alan Chamanten issue, when Alan Chamanten magnanimously, even Bonado didn't win the 2007 primary, he didn't win, magnanimously, in the interest of the party and the country, he said, listen, so that we keep the unity of the party together, I'm going to step aside and allow my brother to go. And then strangely after, Nanado decided to go after people he perceived to support Alan Chamanten. You know Ebo Bakman, he was a victim of Nanado's acts. So Alan decided, give them an ultimatum, that if you are going after people, then I'm going to leave the party. Now, the LPP had the negotiation with him and decided to come back. Then strangely, B.J. Darocha decided to write a letter. Now, what was the content of the letter? The most critical content of that letter was a claim by B.J. Darocha that if Alan Chamanten is given the choice to choose Ghana, the interest of Ghana, as against the interest of the MPP, Alan Chamanten will choose the interest of Ghana as against the interest of the MPP, and because of that, they shouldn't receive him back. Now, that letter is very fundamental to the character of the MPP, and that character is a character or a people who claim to be doing politics, but whose real intent is not in the interest of the country, but in their parochial interest. So that if you find yourself in the MPP and you are thinking straight and say you are doing politics because you want Ghana to be better, then just that alone, I'm telling you that then you are in a fake house, because the fundamental interest of the MPP is not Ghana. Because when they are mentioning their Star Wars, the first thing they mention, or when they are laying down the standards by which people should be measured by, the first thing they mentioned is B.J. Darocha. And here's this man saying that they should not receive one of the critical thinkers in their party. Why? Because if he's given the task of choosing between the interest of Ghana and the interest of the MPP, he will choose the MPP. Sorry, he will choose Ghana. So they don't want him. They want people who put the interest of the MPP ahead of the interest of Ghana. And so when Nanado, His Excellency Nanado, said, even though he was president, even though he had taken an oath to be faithful to Ghana, that meant I would be faithful to the ideals, the principles, the values, the agenda of Ghana. He had taken an oath to protect, preserve, and protect the constitution of Ghana. And within that constitution was the object of that constitution, which is to protect the lives of the people, to protect the liberties of the people, to protect their fundamental right to pursue their own happiness. He took that oath. He also took an oath that he was going to dedicate himself to the well-being of every Ghanaian. That was fundamental to his obligations as president. And yet another could look into the face of people of Kunfi and tell them that you did not vote for my MP, and because of that, I reneged on my obligation towards you. He said that. What did the party say? The party kept quiet because he was reflecting the party's ethos, their character, their value, their principle. Narado also said in Edreso, and his position was re-echoed by what's his name? The Bantama, former the current Bantama MP, Asenso Boache. That if they do not vote for the MPP's candidate, then nobody can lobby them. Nobody can lobby. Must we lobby you to discharge your duty, your obligation as a president? You saw what he told the people of Mepi, that he was not supposed to come there because they don't vote for him. Nado was not talking about it. He was just exhibiting the value, the character, the ideals of their party. In line with what Matthew 7 said, that don't expect good fruit from a bad tree. You don't expect good fruit from a bad tree. And you see how the NDC right now, the party, is dealing with the government. Because you have a party, the sponsor, and the government wins. Now after the party, you do not go and sleep. You ensure, because you have a certain ideal, a certain value, you have a certain principle, and the president you sponsored is supposed to discharge governance that aligns to those values. So when you're a party and the president you sponsored is delivering a governance that is adverse to those values, then it's your obligation to call the president out, the government out. So Ese Dunketia called out Sam George. You saw the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kuti, his famous sycophant speech, call out to the government or the people within the rank and file of the party against the third term. Because when you are General Secretary, CEO, you are the vanguard, you are the protector of the values and ideals of the party. But you see, the MPP, they all kept quiet because Nanado was exhibiting values, which indeed are their values. And that's why I was saying that, for me, the issue is not about the MPP being fake or not. That is not the issue. You understand? The issue is a party which, in my opinion, in my humble and honest opinion, do not hold the interest of Ghana at heart. They do not. And so because they do not hold the interest of Ghana at heart, what fruit do you expect from them? You know, I've said this here so many times that I've never seen any campaign that is as tribal as the campaign waged by Bawumia. But that campaign was just reflecting their values, their ethos. And this one, you can even go beyond, what's it called? MPP in 92. And so, yes, we say that the MPP after President Kofor was the exception. President Kofor was the exception in the MPP, in all the various names. What's called? PFP, and what's it called? President Kofor was the exception. You see, speak to the older people. My father was an Ashanti who was not a UP man. He was CPP. He had to go into a car boot to escape from Kumasi to Accra. And so, when they claim that they are liberal Democrats and they believe in freedom of thought, that freedom of thought means that, listen, we are all free to think and to express our views. But then there's an obligation on us to respect each other's views. In the MPP, they don't accept, they don't respect the fact that you think differently. And so when you think different, instead of they analyzing what you are saying, they come after you. And that's what is happening to Prof. Paul Watson. They are going after him because he's thinking in a manner that they want, that is adverse to how they think. And they'll come after all of you. They'll come after all of you because, you see, I understand, and myself, I come from a very CPP home. They are still very CPP. All my siblings, Papa, father gave it to 50. They are very CPP. I think that me, I'm a thinker and I've worked this. I said, I told towards the right small, so let me go to. And they warned me. I told you before. They warned me before. No. Listen, they are tribal, and so when Bawumia is making those his tribal arguments, which is adverse to the agenda of Ghana. Because when you go, you see, a 1992 constitution is very different from a lot of constitutions. Because in your typical constitution, all you see is they create powers and distribute powers. You understand? They don't go into issues like the directive framework of state policy or the Article 257 that deals with how land is seen and our resources. But in our 1992 constitution, based maybe because of our past experiences, set an agenda for government. So beyond the manifestos, every government has an agenda set for them by our 1992 constitution. One of the fundamental agendas, as eloquently enumerated under our political agenda. Well, you know, in the United States of state policy, they have the political agenda, economic agenda, social agenda, cultural agenda, and education agenda, is to forge one Ghana which is devoid of the evils of tribalism, ethnicism, and regionalism. You understand? Because, see, we are essentially an amalgamation of about 4 nations and a lot of different tribes. One of the problems plaguing Africa is how these tribal things have affected. So we, in our wisdom, say, listen, we need to forge a country where we enhance this state called Ghana as against our tribe. And you hear them talk about Dankwa, Buzia, Dombo. That they are a Dankwa, Buzia, Dombo tradition. What does that mean? And then you have their general secretary, has the Kayonis to mount TV and say that what Dankwa didn't need there. So the Dankwa are people from the eastern region. Buzia didn't need there. Where is Buzia from? And Dombo, so it didn't need there. So this party that says they are UP. And then they were formed because so different tribes were coming together to a party. Suddenly I'm saying that there's Dankwa, Eastern region there. So if you're a Ghana, then what's your fate in the party? Yeah, you understand? So when we talk about tribal, the evils of tribalism, that's their character. So when President was, so we are praising President, for he was the exception. We are back to, so they're back to factory setting. This is their character. And the likes of Professor Frimpong, they do not fit in that character. So if Professor Frimpong Watson, when he was joined the MPP, like I was thinking, when I decided to join, that he was joining a party that believed in the agenda of Ghana, in the values of Ghana. Because in a political party, Article 55 of our Constitution made provision for political parties. They are public entities. I lie. Political parties are not private entities. They are public entities guaranteed by our Constitution, with the thinking that they are aligned to the values of Ghana. So you don't treat political parties like a private club. The thinking is that you are aligned to the agenda of Ghana. So Professor Frimpong thinking that, oh, I'm joining, because he was in Germany for a very long time. I remember very well when he came to Ghana. You know Kotobabi, King David's Hospital. You know King David's Hospital. The owner of the hospital is my uncle, Dr. Appiah. When he came to Ghana, I was small, but I remember he came there because we were both German trained. Very patriotic. Thinking that, and I recall as young as I was, my father told me, we were having those, but you know, free thinkers been to Germany, thinking that, listen, maybe he aligns to center right, so let me go to a party that claims they are center right, but you do your center right to what end? To creating a strong Ghana. And that means that you follow the agenda of Ghana as set in Article Chapter 6 of our 1992 Constitution. But he goes there, believing that we all experience President Kufuor's governance. You understand? And so we started seeing the MPP with the spectacles of what President Kufuor showed us. But all of us are young. We should speak to older people. In fact, today I'm missing Dr. Percy. Today, I'm missing Dr. Percy. He would have eloquently given us a historical expose of the true character of the MPP. You understand? So, President Frimpong is frustrated. So for him, he said they are fake because he thought he was joining a party that believed in certain ideals. He thought he was joining a party that was patriotic or intensive purposes. He thought he was joining a party that was truly liberal Democrats. He thought he was joining a party where freedom of speech, freedom of thought will prevail. Because when did the MPP start having issues with Prof. Frimpong Watson? When? It was after he gave his report. And that his report was very patriotic. He was telling the president that the reason why the fight against this existential threat called Galamsey is failing is because the people perpetrating the Galamsey are, one, your family members, Two, the MPP party apparatchiks, some of the people from NDC, but largely the MPP party apparatchiks, and that's your own what's it called, Forestry Commission boss is the biggest threat to what's it called, our forest. That's when the MPP started having issues with him, because then he was showing a character which was, or he was showing an interest which was more nationalistic as party. When you hear them speaking, they shamelessly say that one of the reasons why they lost the election was because of the Prof. Watten's report. Now that report, what was the essence of that report? The essence of that report was to protect Ghana. So if you are saying that the reason why you lost the election was because Prof. Watten brought a report, which report was in the interest of Ghana, and because of that you lost that report. If they say the same thing about Kennedy Japan, when Kennedy Japan, even though he was in the MPP, was saying that, listen, the way you manage the economy, the way you criminally manage the economy, is wrong. Because what they said, the words of Kennedy Japan are the reasons. But when Kennedy Japan was making those comments, he was making those comments in the interest of Ghana. So very soon, Kennedy too realized that no, the party he's joined, the party on whose ticket he wants to become president, is a fake party, because they don't share his ideals. My learned friend there will also come to that conclusion very soon. Yeah, very, very soon. Because you see, I see that he loves Ghana. If you love Ghana, then you have no business being in the MPP. Because BJ Darocha has given the template. Were you surprised last week when one of the big men in the party, even though our constitution says that one of the abiding principles of our 1992 constitution is the principle of probity and accountability. That's what our constitution says. The senior lawyer goes on TV and says that we should show him any law that says that people in political office should be held accountable. What he was saying, he was reflecting the character of the MPP. He was showing their true nature. Their true nature is not Ghana. Yeah, their true nature is not Ghana. Their interest is not Ghana. I'm telling you, have you not heard a lot of MPP senior men go on TV and shamelessly say that if they can, they won't come. And they're not ashamed. Oh, I know, then they're going to say on TV, if I'm Ken, I won't come. So Prof. Watten says that so. Remembers when he left Germany and came to Ghana with that sense of patriotism. I said, but these are fake people. And in their letter, they exhibit their fakeness. MPP says they believe in the rule of law, not so. MPP claims they believe in the rule of law. And all these principles and their constitution, they have their own set procedure. Not so. And then, like my little friend Riley says, you write a letter. First of all, the NEC do not have the power to discipline anybody per NPP constitution. They have a disciplinary committee, not so. So you refer the matter to their disciplinary committee. They listen to you, and then. But one of the abiding principles of the rule of law is the principle of fairness. There must be fairness. So when Abronye goes on TV and spews all the, forgive my language, all the nonsense he spews. Yeah, he spews all those nonsense. What do they say? When Chamawuntumi goes and says that they've altered their album, the people are there for one reason alone. One reason alone. You understand? Exhibiting a character, exhibiting values which should not be tolerated of any political party in Ghana. What do they say? And my brother here is right. They are fighting to ensure that they get a certain outcome. But sadly, what he's saying, he should find somewhere else. That's why we've created a pattern and say it's UP plus. Because yes, you are UP, yes, you used to be there, but wants to distinguish. Because also they have some few, very little, 10% good trait, 90% negative trait. So he should come. I don't know why Prof. Watten is still there. The virtual members say they are virtual. So when you meet an MPP member, ask him. After I ask you, are you a virtual member or are you what's it called? A fake member? the virtual members. What business do they have been there? You see, we want to build Ghana. If you don't want to build Ghana, then you have no business being in politics in the first place. Whichever way you look at it, whether you are a politician who is in the major political parties, whether you're a politician who is a journalist, whether you're a politician who is a CSO, the only reason why you ought to do politics in Ghana is one, to help build a strong state, to help create a system where the individual ambitions of Ghanaians can have the best chance of being met. If you have any other reason, then you have no business being in politics. And that's why MP, that's what Ghanaians should be wondering. You saw, what was it called, when they were doing their vetting. When they are doing their vetting, you recall, when the minority chief whip admonished his people, Muntu mic no. Montaning at the tables no. Mama yem buganamra. See, when you destroy the property of Ghana, you preach the law. So people who said they are going to be faithful, that's what they did. Within about a week or two, Kotoko went to play a football match with some team in the Bunu area, and the Kotoko supporter was stabbed. Because sometimes what we don't realize is that how we behave, people watch us, how we behave trickles down to the base. So when you, the minority leader of a major political party like the MPP, you are telling Ghanaians that, listen, I cannot have a debate without resorting to violence, without resorting to the breaching of the law. And other people were supporting him. They were happy because he was showing their character. He was showing their spirit. So, for Prof there, it's not a matter of fakeness. It's a matter of will a good tree give good fruit. And we know that a good tree, we are a forester also, will never give good fruit. Evil tree, evil fruit. Now, it's for we in Ghana to decide. When you have an evil tree in your house, giving you poisonous fruit, what do you do with it? You still keep it. You must cut the tree, cut the tree and burn it. Burn the tree. And there's no reason why we should have a political party called the MPP. You see, we are already struggling with very scarce resources. We cannot waste our space with a party that's essentially working against the interest of the country. That's delivering politics that is adverse to our collective interest. The Bible says that if you have a tree which is evil and is giving you evil fruit, and the evil fruit they've given us is in abundance. Abundance evil fruit. Plenty evil. Then why should we still maintain them? You understand? Right now we have the UP Plus. We have a UP Plus. My brother, my friend. You see, I enjoy listening to you. You exhibit a love for the country. You understand? You see our motto is for Ghana first, because that's how we should do politics. The only reason why we should do politics is for Ghana, and Ghana only. You have no business being in this fake, evil, spirit-possessed party that is delivering evil fruits. You have no business, and Bama is going to win, because you see, Ken does not represent those values. Ken does not represent their core values. I'm telling you, not because Ken is bad, but he does not represent their core values. But if what you see, they are even spoiling. You recall when you went to say, if you are a can man, chase a gun man, you see, they are spoiling him. They want to spoil him. You understand? They want to spoil him. Because when you associate with bad, with evil, one bad apple, what other apples? Am I lying? So when Ken went to say that if you are an Akan, when you see your brother a gunman, take a stick and hit him in the head. You see, it was not his fault. He's associated with them for a very long time, so they are spoiling him. So my brother, leave that party and come and join UP Plus, so that we with all the patriots, whichever color they are from, whether the CPP, whether the NDC, whether the LPGT, whatever, all of us together as Ghanaians will build this country that can reclaim its place as the black star of Africa. MPP certainly won't be. So for me, I'm honestly not interested in their primaries. They've already cooked it. infoanalytics or whatever it is. Everything is cooked. Right now, Ghanaians must do an introspection. We claim that we believe in the Bible. We should read the Bible and follow the words of the Bible. Right now, the MPP simply is a party that do not have the interest of Ghana at heart. And like the good book said, we should cut that evil tree and burn it.